so that's the end of chapter 3, and the end of chapter 3 brings the beginning of chapter 4, and the beginning of chapter 4 brings a wonderful level up. Chapter 3 was obviously a very tragic chapter where we had lots of tragic storylines. I'll just run over some of the highlights for you. Whether it was Greg, we found out that Greg was a teenager sent through time after the sad passing of his father. Dweezil recently discovering the history of his family and his lost siblings. We also found out that Quinch is a man from another plane, punished for his crimes. And of course we saw the sad demise, the death and resurrection of Daboth. But nothing compares to finding out Krill, of all people, was a bread spreader. The saddest of all the chapter 3 stories. My name's Nate. I'm the DM. Thank you for this mini bonus episode. Thank you for joining us, I should say. Not thank you for it. We're doing it. I'm here with the cast and crew, the wonderful, famous faces and voices of Dice and Desire. And we're just going to run through a few level up things with you so you can hear what their characters will be doing over the next few chapters. We're going to start with Sam, because he's promised he'll do his in 2 seconds. Sam, how are you?
Good. Oh, the whole thing in 2 seconds or the level up?
No. Let's talk to me. What's Krill doing in level 7?
Oh, level 7 is it opens up a lot of potential for Krill. He gets advantages on initiative, so first into the fight, which is always helpful, and he can't be surprised. So birthday party's out of the question. It's not a lot at level 7 realistically. That's sort of really it. Level 8 I'm looking forward to. There's some big plans for level 8, but level 7, advantage on initiative. Can't be surprised if I elect to rage as soon as my turn starts.
And you say that about birthday parties. We did, of course, see Dweezil treating Quinch to a birthday cake.
I would not imagine the same treatment in a million years.
Of course, neither would I. One of the things that I tasked you with for this level up was we had an off mic shopping session, so to speak, with all the characters. They got lots and lots of gold at the end of chapter 3, and I allowed them to do some shopping off mic. And Sam, can you tell us what Krill finally owns?
A second teddy bear. No. Krill has part exchanged his Gauntlet of Ogre Strength, which he's been carrying since session 1. Got a nice bit of credit for that. And he's put it towards a belt of Storm Giant Strength. We said Storm Giant, wasn't it, Nate? Giant?
It wasn't Storm Giant.
Not Storm Giant.
No.
This is awkward.
No. Definitely Hill Giant Strength.
Okay, let me change that.
Okay, I'll just change the price then. Stuart, get the key.
we're in a lot of debt.
You're going into deficit if you want Storm Giant.
We're taking out a mortgage on a Storm Giant belt. Belt of Hill Giant Strength, which just gives me a nice little boost to my strength score.
Question: will that stop you asking if every giant has a belt?
I'll just stop asking about the Hill Giants.
Fair enough. It's a win in my book. Okie dokie. Thank you very much, Sam and Krill. We're going to move over to Mr. Michael Smith to hear about Gregor Mel Wallows and his levelling up and his magic item as well.
Okay. Bonjour. Well, as we've been hearing through the story, Greg has kind of got in touch with his deity, and he's starting to become more religious, and he's seeing that there's a bit more to life than just coffee and caffeine. So with that, he has kind of gone away from sorcery a little bit, and he's moving towards being a cleric. So he's actually gone for his first level in cleric. With that, I get to choose a divine dominance. Divine domain. Is it? Yeah.
Domain.
Yeah.
I like divine dominance.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
I just dominate those heathens.
Well, I mean, going cleric does have its bonuses to it as well, because I can now wear armor, so my AC is going to go up.
Wow.
And because of my dominance, which I have chosen to go for life, I was originally thinking knowledge, but reading through the manual, it's a bit, let's just say it's not great. So I've gone for life instead, just because Greg loves life, you know, he just loves everyone in it. He's now seeing there's a lot more to it. And quite frankly, we need a healer in the team. So that's going to put some perks into it. So I can now actually wear heavy armor as well if I wanted, which is pretty nice.
this old man / teenage boy and an old man just carrying around some scale mail.
I like to think that it's like when Bilbo puts on the mithril and it just kind of swamps him. That's kind of what's going on with Greg's armor.
Nice.
But with that, I get a couple of things. I get Bless, I get Cure Wounds, which are both more effective because I am of the light domain. And I actually get 3 new cantrips and I get 2 new spells. Would you like to know what they are, or would you like me to surprise listeners?
Go for it. No, let's surprise them. Let's drop them as the episodes go.
Okay, let's do that. As for way of shopping, Greg's not a man of many needs, but as we all know, does love his caffeine. He obviously got the lovely coffee beans from yourself, Nate. As we were going through previous episodes, I've used a couple of them. So the thing that I have purchased in the shop is the Plant of Good Beans, which is basically a plant which every day it grows a new magical coffee bean. And the coffee beans are exactly the same as they were. So we've got the instant, the slow roast, the decaf, the cold brew, the fair trade, and the espresso. With that, the beans that grow on this plant do lose their potency every 24 hours. So I can only have them for obviously 24 hours at a time. And to determine what bean I get, I have to roll a d6.
Yeah, so just basically it tops up your beans, so to speak, but only just for 24 days.
Yeah.
24 hours.
Question about that one. Can I have multiple of the same bean? So at the moment, obviously, I haven't used all my beans, so I've obviously got like the cold brew one left. If I got another cold brew on the plant, would I have 2 of them?
Yes, but only obviously of the one. You'll have the bean from the original bag, and then But going forward, in essence, you'll probably only have 1 bean at a time.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Cool. Thank you very much. Dabov.
Hello.
Luke, talk to me about your leveling up and your magic items.
Yeah, I got quite a lot at level 2.
Level 2?
No, not level 2. Sorry, I've got level 2 spell slots now. Sorry.
I know you. I know you died, but I didn't take you back to level 1.
Yeah, I've started again. So I've now got the evasion ability. I think I got that at level 7, which is anything that attacks an area, like an area of effect type damage thing. Where I would normally take half, I now take none, and where I take full, I take half. If that makes sense. If it's a dex saving throw, so that's fairly useful. Got like I said, level 2 spell slots, which I don't know if you want to know what I've chosen.
Only if you wish to. I like the idea of it just coming out in RP.
Okay, I will save those. But I gained 1 extra spell, 1 known spell, and I've swapped 1 out as well, which I can do when I level up. So I have essentially 2 new spells, even though I've only officially gained 1. I can't remember which one I actually dropped in the end. I think I dropped the lightning one, the area of effect lightning thing. I just wasn't using it, so that's gone.
No.
And in terms of the items I've picked, I don't think we named the rapier, did we?
No. Feel free to give it a name.
Stabby Pointy.
Okay.
Which actually is quite appropriate because its main thing is that I can attack twice with it.
Yeah, talk to me about Stabby Pointy.
Yeah, so I wanted to be able to cast spells with a free hand without having to keep swapping a weapon in and out of it, so that I can start using my spells a bit more. So me and Nate worked on a rapier that essentially I can attack a second time as a bonus action with the rapier. I think it's under the condition that there's nothing in my offhand, is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
So I can basically do my 2-weapon fighting with only 1 weapon, leaving my offhand free to cast spells. So it's
do other things. Wink, wink.
Oh yeah, obviously I'm going to use my bonus action for that. Yes.
Question. So does the second attack with the rapier suffer like a multi-attack penalty?
No.
Oh, so that is tasty.
But it then prevents Dabble from essentially not disengaging, because that's not really an issue for him anymore, but dashing or hiding or doing any other roguey things with his bonus attack.
I think that's true of 2-weapon fighting as well, though, isn't it?
2-weapon fighting, you lose your proficiency on the
but I also I use my bonus action, don't I? So I would also lose disengage anyway. So it is basically
it's better than 2-weapon fighting though, because you're still getting your proficiency with your second attack.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a better option. Yeah, that's cool. That's
really cool. And it frees up. Like I say, I'm offhand for spells. As much as I love sneak attack and it is very good, I would like the option to cast a few more spells, especially now that I've got the level 2s. So it's more versatility. It doesn't add an awful lot other than the bonus, like you said, but yeah, it's pretty good.
Just gives you, like you said, versatility is absolutely the name of that game there, because it just gives you so many more options.
And the other thing, I think it did have a name, was the gloves that I've picked, or gloves, but gloves singular.
Yeah, I think it's the glove of storing, I think.
Yeah, which, let me bring it up. Basically, I can store and retrieve. It's like a bag of holding, but for a single item. Does that sound about right, Nate?
Yeah, but one item weighing no more than 20 pounds, and you can sort of you can store it in the glove. Essentially, you can hide a weapon, you can hide an item in it, and then recall it essentially for free.
It's a bonus action to store something in the glove, but it's a free action to retrieve it. So, for example, my initial plan is to store a dagger in it, and then if I want to suddenly switch to an offhand dagger for a throwing weapon, I can just retrieve it with no action and then immediately throw it as my main action.
Yeah.
So it's just or I can use it to store things as role playing type things. Yeah. So we'll see how I use it. I think it'd be quite useful.
Cool.
I think that's it for level 7 for my items. If we can find some dynamite at some point, or some gunpowder again, since I threw the last one into some fire.
I'll see if I can swing you past the Acme factory.
Yeah.
We're going to move over to Quinch, Michael Jameson.
Just play my bit again.
Pick a random character. That's who MJ's copying.
Unfortunately,
he got the Stone Giant belt.
You motherfucker.
Unfortunately, I do need to. It is unfortunate. I do need to approach this special recording quite formally. So I'll go through what's updated, and then I need to read a special statement that's been prepared for me. So first of all, exactly the same as Sam. I've got advantage on initiative and can't be surprised. Now, I can't. My magic item is the Amulet of Draconic Health. This essentially gives me extra hit points equal to my level. So obviously I'll start at 7, and there's also some extra bonuses that I don't fully understand, to be honest, because I don't understand the rules of Dungeons and Dragons despite playing it for 4 years. But basically, whenever I have a short rest, the first hit dice doesn't get used up, or something like that.
It basically gives him an extra hit dice on a short rest.
Right, lovely. I'll pretend I know what that means. No, I know it's to do with health and healing, probably.
Never in combat, doesn't matter.
So now I'll read out this statement. It's unfortunate I've had to do this, but it is relevant to my character level up.
Elephant.
This statement has been prepared in collaboration with Michael Jameson's lawyers, family, and close friends. It is being read out loud on the 5th of February 2024 and expected to be released at some point in the future. We will not be accepting any comments and won't be answering questions, and we would ask that you respect the family's wishes at this time for a private life. Any implied admissions in this statement are not admissions of fallacy or guilt, and we politely leave the contents open for your interpretation. On the 20th of July 2020, Michael Jameson took part in the first episode of Dice and Desire, where he portrays the character Quinch Felborn, formerly Bringer of Omens, latterly the Humbled. Throughout the following 4 years, Quinch has, in some situations, adopted a more defensive and tactically durable strategy of resilience and perseverance. There have been some criticisms of this strategy, and it has on more than one occasion been criticised directly by other people on the podcast, constituting defamation. The strategy has often been simplified as being called running away. Whilst the following information does not formally acknowledge that Michael's character ever ran away, we can confirm that following an administrational review, there has been an error with Quinch's hit points identified. We are happy to announce that the problem has now been resolved, and as a result, Quinch's total hit points have doubled, and it is unlikely that the tactics previously displayed will continue to the same frequency. Thank you. So yeah, fucked up on my hit points, and we've resolved it.
Dear me.
Just further pushing the point that you don't actually know how to play D&D.
Listen, there was definitely some confusion in the level ups. So yeah, Quinch will be a bit more devilish and a bit more brave going forward, I think.
He's gonna die in this next session.
I just need to ask: have you got your armor equipped?
Right now,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. You'll be fine.
Nah.
And finally, Stuart.
Hello, Nathan.
Hello. How are you?
I'm very well. It's been a long time, hasn't it? We haven't played Dungeons and Dragons for ages. I've forgotten. Am I the dungeon or am I the dragon? I can't remember which way around it is.
The good news is you're both.
Oh, I can do that. I can multitask. Yep. Now, this to the listeners, this is going to come as some surprise because the decision I made at this level up has not been foreshadowed in any way through role play or the procurement of children's books 2 years ago in character. I've decided to take a level of Warlock. Yes. I've taken the level of Warlock, and I have, as listeners will know, my Warlock patron is Faranal of the Fae, although for kind of game reasons and meta-game reasons, if anything, I am not taking the kind of Fae Warlock pact. I've gone the very Sam way, which is the Hexblade. And I'll say I'm sorry, but I'm not.
Sorry. Why is that the very Sam way?
It's just really min-maxy. It's really min-maxy. It takes the kind of the weaknesses of the bard,
which there are many.
There are a few, but it does work regarding Dweezil and the kind of the way he is. And it does require an edgy undercut and a line in the eyebrow, which Dweezil has.
I thought he had no eyebrows.
That was not canon. That was not canon.
Canon.
That was not canon.
Carry on, canon.
It was just the undercut. So, yes, that's what I've done. I've taken a level in Hexblade Warlock, which essentially allows me proficiency with martial weapons and medium armor.
I think you can turn. Can you not turn one of your weapons into magic weapons?
Yeah. So one of my weapons, which will now be finally, I'm going to be wielding Harmony, the longsword that I've had for a very long time, becomes what is known as my hex weapon. So this is why it works really well with the bard, because your hex weapon uses your charisma bonus to attack. So I've got a massive, great big longsword that I'm swinging around using +7 to hit.
Do you have Eldritch Blast then?
Yes, I will have Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
I have Eldritch Blast. I was supposed to save that as a surprise.
That classic surprise Warlock cantrip.
Yeah, I get some Warlock spells. They're quite cool. I've already used Hellish Rebuke because I sort of had an early access pre-release copy
beta test.
Yeah. Prior to the level up, because it has been 7 years that we've been waiting to do this multi-class. What else have I got?
It is genuinely. It's been talked about between you and I for a long, long, long time. Mm-hmm. Like it was. Yeah, I don't know how early it was, but it was something you wanted to do a long time ago.
Is it older than the belt of giant strength?
Probably not.
And listen, I can tell you now, I can drop this, right? I can drop this right now. I had to kill Daboff to do it. It's the only reason, it was the only way it would work, was I had to kill Daboff.
Yeah. So, thanks for that, Luke.
Has your patchy hair grown back yet?
No, it's because how long's it been? It's only been like a week since Dweezil.
It's probably been a bit longer, but 2 weeks maybe.
Yeah. Oh right, you're still looking like still done a Brittany then.
Some growth. He's not like it'll look like probably looks like a number 2 by now on the sides. Right. The other
goes with the edginess. To be fair,
yeah, I like it. The other thing, my magic item. I've got some armor. I wanted to be now that apparently we needed a healer. So Greg's multi-classed into cleric because nice one. Thanks for all that hard work.
We need a better healer. That's what I should have said.
I've decided that we need a better tank as well because Dweezil can now sort of tank a bit. So I wanted to increase my AC the best way I could. So I've gone for some magical +1 mithril scale mail. Which arguably is that, considering it's a pretty boring magic item in terms of everyone else's exciting, wonderful things, I think cost more than anyone else's magic item.
No, Krill's cost the most.
Did it?
Krill's was 5k, I think.
I did offset it with some of my own money though. So,
and then yours was second.
Yeah,
but my reasoning was those two in particular are going to be used basically constantly. They're constant use of things.
Yeah. It's so I'm pretty excited now. At the moment, Dweezil's AC is 17, which is a lot sexier than it was.
Were you wearing armour beforehand?
I was wearing studded leather, which was a much more... Part of the reason was I think that the studded leather sort of gave a BDSM vibe that I wasn't happy with. Whereas now, I'm just kind of more sexy, slinky armour man, rather than like leather daddy. So
could Greg perhaps become leather daddy and have your leather armour? Because I don't have any armour.
Now that he's got the dominance and everything.
Yeah, I mean, you can take my leather studded armour, but I think I mean,
you can say it's not kinkwear, but it does describe it as the armour consists of a coat and leggings of leather covered with overlapping pieces of metal. It's not far removed from what it was before.
Bit Mad Max, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit Mad Max.
It's nice.
Says you, Sam, with your little sex teddy,
with his sex harness on.
you leave Mosey out of this. I was realising that I was on my high horse about offsetting the cost of my magic item with money from my own purse, but I do realise that one of our last actions in the last session was stealing money from the kitty.
You are welcome to that armour, Michael, if you'd like it. Although I'm sure Nate would happily let you just off camera buy yourself some more appropriate armour. Although you can have it some leather studded armour. It's only light armour.
Yeah, okay. I'll off camera with you then, Nate, and then we're just we're sticking me in some chainmail. Why not?
Suddenly, Smaug is just crop dusting across the bottom of the thing. Right, lovely, well done, lovely level ups. And lovely magic items. 8 should be an interesting level up because we get feats. If and when we get there, those of you that have not multi-class will have feats. And of course, if anyone wants to multi-class, then maybe that happens at the next one. Who knows? Thank you very much for listening. And if this is out, you can listen to the next episode of our podcast right now. Bye.
Another delicious episode in the can. Thanks for listening. You can find us on social media. Maybe you could share your favourite moments with us. If you have any friends or family that you think would enjoy the antics of the circus, we'd appreciate it if you told them about our podcast. What is this voice? I don't know, but isn't it just so?
If you have any spare change, you can support us financially on Ko-fi. It is of paramount importance that you do so.
Open square bracket. Hi lads, here's the script for the outro I'm planning to record. I don't know how to end it, so let me know if you can think of anything witty to finish it at.